Hi folks, Laducium here, and I'm gonna play a little bit of Spacebase DF-9. So, a couple of things want to mention before I start playing. First of all, this is an early access game. It's an alpha, and the rain in space falls mainly on the base, apparently. But we can see down here it's an alpha, but it is an alpha. It's early access on Steam. That's where I picked this up. And yeah, I have very mixed feelings about early access games. I think it's kind of shitty to have to sell a game that's not complete in the hopes that you'll complete it one day, and to ask people to buy into it simply on the hopes that, yeah, you will complete it and it'll be great. You're basically getting people to pay you for being your beta testers, and I don't know, it seems like not a great practice to encourage. On the other hand, I do like trying out new games. I do like giving money to companies that I want to support, and this is Double Fine, and I do like Double Fine as a company, so that's one of the big reasons why I bought into this, is because I do want to support this game. I do have high hopes for it, and I wanted to try it out because this kind of falls into the line of games that I like. So what kind of game is this? Well, if I were to describe it, I'd say it has the potential to be Dwarf Fortress in space. So Spacebase, Dwarf Fortress 9, maybe. Double Fine 9, maybe. Dog Food 9, also a possibility. I don't know what else. Duty Face 9. I don't know what else I can come up with for that. But anyways, so yeah, it's an early access game. And you'll see exactly what I mean, because, for example, if we go to settings, there's very minimal settings here, and there isn't even a back button, really. I have to hit escape. If we resume the game, so I've played for a little while, I've built up a little bit of a base where everything's stable, and I have all these folks running around doing things, and most of my citizens are deeply sad, and I have absolutely no way, kind of sad, very sad. Yeah, so if I click on one of them, let's slow the game down a little bit, let's pause here, and we'll take a look. So yeah, by the way, this isn't going to be a let's play or anything. This is going to be just a let's look at. There isn't enough here to do a let's play at the moment. That's the thing, and that's part of the whole early access thing. So this guy here, whatever his name is this alien dude with weird bulbous eyes, and he is deeply sad. Diagnosis healthy, deeply sad. He's at the Vengeful Rickshaw, which is the name of my bar here, and is eating replicated food. And there's some information here, and they generate, you know, kind of what's going on in their life. So they generate a log, and that's the personal log. There's stats: very brave, most gregarious, inventory none, enemies. So, for example, inventory is none, yet I've yet to encounter any items they could actually hold or have. So, yeah. The text is running into each other, so there's that. Favorite hobby, walking. Curd medallions, his favorite food. Viridian philanthropist. Favorite band. Yeah, anyways. Unmet needs of rest, but I do have rooms here. I guess they're all filled up. But even the ones that I've had rest are still, for some reason, come out as very sad. So, this one's deeply sad. Anyways, the point being, the game is definitely not anywhere near complete. But I do have very high hopes for it. It's kind of fun. So you build this little colony in space. You get to mine asteroids, yeah, they're asteroids, they're not meteors. They'd have to be falling into a planet to be a meteor. So I can kind of zoom out here, and we can see this is stuff I have designated as mining. And as far as I can tell, once you mine everything in the area, you have no other way of really getting more resources. There is a good amount of stuff, though. I haven't... There we go. I wasn't sure how to get back to the base. So when you got... Let me restart. When you mine asteroids, you get matter. You use the matter to build things. Also, when folks get food, that costs matter as well. You can build a garden where they can grow food, and I don't think that costs matter. you have a capacity for the amount of people you can have in the base based on the amount of oxygen that you produce. So if I click anywhere in the base, I can see we're at 96% oxygen. If you actually get to 36 people or close, you actually start running out of oxygen. So this is a bit misleading, because when it's, let's say I have up to 36 people, well, if I get up to 36, I would actually run out of oxygen. My oxygen would just start depleting. And then they all start suffocating, and they start running around, and they don't do anything else. And then they all die. And I've had this happen. So I played this for a few hours, trying a whole bunch of different things, different combinations. And yeah, so I found that out. So really, you can have 2 or 3 less than your maximum to actually be ideal. Let's see what else. So when they go out, they put on spacesuits, and they have about 8 minutes of oxygen in a spacesuit, although that's game time, that's not real time. Your equipment breaks down, so you need folks repairing it. Yeah, if you've ever played Dwarf Fortress, which is, by the way, an amazing game, this has a lot of similarities to it, although it's much simpler. But it does have graphics, which Dwarf Fortress lacks. Now, I don't think Dwarf Fortress ever needed graphics. I love Dwarf Fortress. I'm horrible at it. Because who really is great at Dwarf Fortress? I mean, that's a game that you lose eventually. It's a lot of fun. This might be one of those games. So, anyways, with that poor and horrible description in place, let's go ahead and start a new game. So, apparently there's no way to start a new base and keep an old base, so you can't have multiple bases. Right now you have to start a brand new base whenever you want to start over. So you can't have a save file for something and then go on to something else. Resume, quit. So yeah, not a lot of options. By the way, no other way to get to the menu than the escape key, so a lot of stuff needs to be added to this. Anyways, we'll start a new base. Again, reminiscent of Dwarf Fortress, you get to pick a starting place in space. Starting place in space. Something face. Yeah. So you get to pick a place to start. We can see the galaxy here. For some reason, like I can go right into the galactic center and stellar density is low, which makes absolutely no sense. Like ridiculously low for stellar density. Really? Right in the middle of a supermassive black hole. We're in the center of a galaxy here. On the other hand, I can go kind of out here on the outskirts, and I get semi-low stellar density or average stellar density for some reason, which is very weird as well, because that's not accurate. So the star map has absolutely nothing to do with your amount of resources that you get when you start off. So I'm looking at the top right-hand corner for this. So we have stellar density, we have warp gate proximity, which determines how many visitors you get, how many ships arrive. Threat factor, so how many of those are actually threatening. Magnetic interference, I'm not 100% sure of. Let's do this. We'll do semi-low, distant low region. So it'll be fairly easy. Magnetic interference, here it is. High interference results in increased presence of derelict vessels. Derelict vessels show up, and you can actually mine them and do stuff with them as well. So I guess that's another way of getting resources, but derelict vessels, you can kind of scrap some stuff in there, but it's meh. So we'll hit accept. So yeah, this is the first Dwarf Fortress comparison. You get kind of like a starting area. And just like in Dwarf Fortress, where you get a starting clutch of dwarves or gaggle of dwarves or whatever dwarves come in. A murder of dwarves. No, is that right? Murder of crows. I'm assuming dwarves can be murdered. So, this is our starting area. We get 3 little spacefaring people. And yeah, so we start off actually really good right next to some asteroids. And there's our pod. Just like so. How many times am I going to say Dwarf Fortress in this video? The answer is a lot. So the starting pod here. We're going to demolish, just like we demolished the wagon in Dwarf Fortress. And then we get to assign jobs to our folks. So, they have different skills. Builder, technician, miner, security, bartender, botanist, and unassigned. So, I would love to see this list expanded. You know, 5, 6, 7 more jobs, maybe. Again, very Dwarf Fortress-esque. And I know, I'm sure they're trying to keep this game accessible and playable, unlike Dwarf Fortress, which has such a steep learning curve. Probably trying to keep this rather simple, but I would love to see this expanded with a few more jobs at least. So I like to start everybody off as a builder, so we can start building some stuff, and then I'm going to construct a room. And I'm using my mouse to move around, hitting the right mouse button to kind of pan the screen over. Left mouse button will actually build. So we'll build ourselves a small room, like so. And we're going to place our life support in there. Then I'm going to construct another room, and I have the game paused. You have 3 speeds here, so you can change the speed there as you like. So I'm going to build another room here off to the side, and this is going to be our air locker. So one more thing I'm going to build while I'm at it, and that's going to be a floor, and this is going to be our mining facility, and we'll build it, I guess it doesn't matter, we can build it on this side. Sure, why not? Well, that didn't go well. So I have to cancel that, and unfortunately when you cancel it seems to kind of back you out way too many screens, so that's a little inconvenient. And I wish there was a way, no way to rotate the map right now, so I'm basically stuck facing in this view. And that is why actually, and there's no way to undo a build like that, so you have to cancel, go back to construct, go back to floor, and do it this way. So I'm going to build a floor here. There we go. And the reason why that's just going to be a random floor in space, that's going to be my refinery. So I'm going to set it to, let's set it to a medium speed. While they're building, I'll talk. So the refinery is where they'll take the minerals that they mine in order to convert it into matter. And it doesn't need to be inside of a station. So I had noticed that the first time I played, I put it inside of an enclosed room with oxygen and everything, but that just meant every time they mined mineral, they'd have to come back, take off their spacesuit, bring the mineral inside, go through the airlock, bring it in, get it refined, take it out, and that just took way too much time. So lesson learned there. You can build the refineries outside of the space station. You could probably build other things outside of the space station. If I were to suspect, you could probably build the power reactor in an unenclosed area exposed to open space. So anyways, for some reason they build the floors first, so they're going to build all these floors and then they're going to build the walls. While they're doing that, we can go to construct, and it pauses the game when you go into construct. We can go into object, and then you got to pick the room you want to build. So all zones, you would think that that means you could just have a list of all the available items, but no, that's just items you can build in all zones, so we'll have to cancel. You can go back to go back one screen actually. So if you go back, it goes back one screen. Not intuitive, unfortunately. There's no way to do it easily through the keyboard. So if I go into object, there's no way to really do it. Actually, maybe there is. Object X. Yeah, I guess I could use the X button, but still. So we're gonna do refinery. We're gonna build a matter refinery. This is going to cost 200 crystals, and I can't do it yet because I hit escape. I keep hitting escape to try to go back, and I can't rebind any of the keys. Okay, back, cancel. Alright, you got to select the room first, and you got to determine or assign the room type. So, very similar to Dwarf Fortress, where we assign different room types such as storage or kitchen. Okay. Or whatever, brewery and so on. So we've assigned the room type. Now we can go into the construction menu. Now we can go into object and go to refinery, pick the matter refinery, and place it over here. It doesn't really matter. I have lots of space here on the floor. I didn't have to build it this big. Confirm. Alright, so we built our matter refinery, and now they've built these rooms. And these pop-ups keep appearing. Eventually, I would love to be able to turn these off because, you know, it's the same messages every single time, and I've played this enough times now that I don't need to read those messages. Basically, it's going to tell me that they built rooms, but I don't have them assigned, and I don't have anything. I don't have any oxygen, so we're going to designate this room as the airlock, and this room is going to be the life support. And let's let them finish that one wall. Hit the spacebar to unpause. There they go. They finished the wall. Now, Oops. I can go into construct. I can go into objects. And for the life support, we're going to build... I'm going to try to squeeze in 2 oxygen reactors, and I should be able to do it. Maybe. Because I keep hitting this flip option. Alright, confirm. So you got to confirm that you're going to build those after you place them. And then it actually places them. And then here we're going to construct object doors. We're going to build airlock doors. Build 1. Oops, 2 airlock doors. Confirm. So they can go in and out. And then we will construct object airlock and a spacesuit locker. And we'll flip this. Unfortunately, you can only flip things like in these directions. So I can't place anything on this wall here for some reason. So you can only place things kind of on the right side walls or on the top walls here. I can't place something like backwards here against this wall if I wanted to for some reason. So again, something else to consider there. So yeah, this is early access at its finest. But I am enjoying this game. I am glad I got it because I feel that hopefully, given a little bit of time, there'll be a lot more to it and this will be a lot of fun. So, we built our room here. We're building up oxygen. These folks are, I don't know what the hell they're doing. He's waiting for the oxygen to build up before entering the base. Then these guys can come in. So the airlock keeps, you gotta build 2 sets of doors, and then the airlock keeps these guys from flying off into space. So now everybody's inside, everyone's happy. Alright, so a couple of interesting things we can do. We can go ahead and mine. So I'm gonna select mine. I'm gonna highlight the minerals you want to mine, and then hit confirm. It's going to tell me I don't have any miners. So then I'm going to go to roster. I'm going to pick somebody to be a miner. I'll pick this one because he's got the worst builder specs. So he'll be a miner. You can see how good they are at a skill. I'm assuming that the amount of time it takes them to do something is affected by how many stars they have here, how good they are at it. What I am going to do is hit done there, and that's actually, I'll designate this guy as technician. So we'll have 1 builder, 1 technician, 1 miner. As they perform these tasks, their skills do improve, so that's kind of cool. So they do get better at it. So you do want to kind of keep them alive. You will lose a lot of people as you go, at least I have. I'll lose people here and there. Alright, so we've got some mining going on. These guys are doing their thing. Alright, while that's being mined, now let's build a couple more rooms. We are going to build 1 more room off the top here. I'm going to build me a garden. Yeah, I'll build a garden, and then eventually I will also, it's going to be a small garden. So this will be a small base to start off. So one of these guys is going to, the builder, whichever one is the builder, should eventually go out here, put on their spacesuit. They have to wait for the airlock to pressurize. There they go. Then he's going to go over here and start building. This guy should start repairing this stuff. Once this room is built, then I can create a door between them, and we will turn this into a garden. And as I get more matter, I will build a pub. Pubs generally tend to be big, or at least I found that I should make them big because people will crowd in them, and it's a place for people to go. I also found that I should build multiple airlocks because I've had these blow up, and then I've had people for some stupid reason start going out of them and get sucked out into space. You can, for some reason I can't do it now, but you could actually force this door to be locked if you wanted to prevent that from happening. And that was fun. I got half my crew sucked out into space and during one of my games. So we have an incoming ship coming in, so let's see what happens. Oh, it's going to take a minute. Basically, it's just like that game that I keep mentioning. So, just like you get more colonists, you do get more colonists here. So, please help. We have a virus system on our ship. It posts ads, blah, blah, blah. We could tell them, sorry, we don't want your help. Or, of course, we could use a few extra hands around here. Welcome aboard. There seems to be a certain set of paragraphs or phrases so far in the game, only like 5. And basically most of them are friendly, and then there's like one or two that if you piss them off, they'll attack you. So we're going to say of course, and they're going to say thanks, and they're going to come aboard. And it's usually one or two people that come aboard at a time. So in this case, it's just one new citizen, this person. If we go to roster, we can see what kind of skills they have. She's unassigned, Nashira, Santiago, and you know, she has these skills. I'll probably make her a bartender, and we'll build a bar in a little bit. So welcome aboard, blah blah blah. So we already mined that mineral. Okay. Well, I am going to start mining this because there's no reason not to. And I will need all these minerals. It's going to tell me up there how many I'm going to get, but I will need all those minerals to build the stuff that I want to build. So we'll start mining. We'll speed this up a little bit as well and see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to go back to construct. We're going to construct another room, and we'll construct the bar right next to the garden. Actually, I'm going to just build out this way, but I'm going to build the bar this way, and it's going to be really long. That's going to cost me 874 minerals. I don't know why I'm building the bar this way, but what the hell? Why not? We are low on matter, so yep, of course we are. And your oxygen levels are low, and that's because we got another person. And as you can see, you can barely sustain the oxygen because that person left and this person's outside. The oxygen is going back up, but if all four of them were in here, this would barely sustain them, even though it says I'm good for 4 out of 6 people. A couple of other things we could do. We can turn on the O2 map and we can see areas of the base that have oxygen and areas that don't. And we can turn this on, and that just minimizes the walls or reduces the walls so we can kind of see into other rooms. I don't like to do this too much because then I can't see where I'm supposed to build doors. So let's go ahead and build a door as well. We'll build object, doors, and a door. They are confirmed. And then I will also go to object, all zones, and I've found that I need to build fire extinguishers. I should build alarms, except I don't think they do anything right now. Fire extinguishers definitely do, because you can get hit with meteors and then the base catches on fire, and I've had everybody die from 3rd-degree burns. So that's also useful. And because she's not doing anything right now, I'm going to set her to build her as well, simply so that we can speed this along. Once we have a bar, I'll change her back to being a bartender. So Lee Bowman's builder skill has increased because he's out there building. Eventually this will get into 4 stars, 5 stars, and so on. So we'll see that skill go up. His mining skills increase, that's good. Alright, everybody do something. I'm going to speed this up while we're going, because it's going to be a little while for them to finish building all this stuff. So we're getting more minerals, or matter, whatever we want to call it. What I'd like to see in this game is I'd like to see, so we got another ship. I'd like to see more professions, a lot more objects you can build, more interactions with the people's skills and things like that. Sure, why not? Alright. I'm going to tell them no, only because we will suffocate. Yeah. So these guys are going to force their way inside. New citizen. Alright, so maybe they don't force inside. Some of these become violent, some of them don't. We'll see if this guy's violent. What's this? Chad. So what we're going to do is actually take Chad, and we're going to assign Chad to security. So he'll fight. If this guy's violent, Chad will at least put up a fight. If you don't assign security, they seem to mostly just die. So we'll see what happens in just a second. Nope, not violent. Good, alright, so we'll go back to roster. We'll switch Chad back to technician, and this guy could be security when needed. Alright. What was I saying before? I don't remember. Oh yeah, things I'd like to see in the game. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see different types of minerals, besides just converting things to matter. How about more exotic minerals? Maybe they're worth more matter. Worth more matter is what I'm trying to say. My English is not doing well today. and it's like 3 in the afternoon. I should be way more awake than I am appearing to be. But anyways, yeah, I'd love to see different mineral types in the game. Maybe something that can be converted for more matter, maybe something that you can get objects out of or build something special out of, like relics or, you know, artifacts or something. Alien artifacts, that would be awesome. You can bring them aboard your base. They can have certain effects, maybe turn everybody into zombies or something else neat. So like you could have a base full of zombies or space vampires or something, but something like cool like that. Anyways, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things that would be nice to see that I'm hoping for. Here's hoping, you know, but you never know. So why is this on slow? Yeah, whenever a ship arrives or something, it seems to reset the game back to a slower speed. So speeding this back up, we'll let this finish building, and then we'll turn that into a bar. We're going to build a door there. We're going to pause and build another door, object doors, right there. Good enough. Doesn't have to line up exactly, but confirm. Then we'll construct object. What do we need? We'll do a fire extinguisher for the hell of it, because they're good. Alarms, just because I want to keep up with all the latest trends. I didn't think the plants do anything. Maybe they give some oxygen. I don't know. We'll put a few plants in there. Monitor doesn't seem to really do much, and somehow floats in the air. The one over there, just for the hell of it. Confirm. Now let's take this room, and this is going to be our garden. Back, and then we will construct object garden, and a hydroponic culture. We could put. Technically, we could probably fit 4 in here if we try. I'm not sure how much space I need between them, but we'll just do that. Okay. So, yep, I know we're low on matter, but that's okay. We'll get more. In the meantime, we can get this stuff built. And we have another ship incoming. And we are going to start running out of oxygen soon. Sector and blah, blah, blah. So... yeah, so we can tell them to get lost, or we can welcome them again, or, yeah. So they're going to come aboard anyways, and now we are going to probably suffocate. Yeah, so what we need to do really quickly is build another room, and we need to expand our air supply here, because if we don't, we will die a horrible, horrible suffocating death. So let's go ahead and do one of these. And unfortunately, yep, there we go. I'm gonna build a large oxygen thing. I don't have enough money for that. I have enough money for just this much. But even that's not gonna be good enough, because I'm gonna have to place some air recyclers in there or whatever. So we'll just do this. Hopefully, it'll also get some people out of the base. Let's do roster. Let's have more. We'll get these new people on as builders. Done. Maybe that'll keep them out of the base, and hopefully everyone doesn't suffocate and die a horrible, horrible death. And I can actually show a little bit more of the game. For some reason, they don't build walls here, even though, like, I couldn't place the room in such a way that it would build a wall. I'd have to pause, go to construct, build the wall, and basically add it myself. So that's something else that's kind of a miss. But there we go. So we'll get this room built pretty quickly. Designate this as another life support room. Back, we will construct a door here. Confirm, and then more importantly, we will construct object life support, and we'll build a couple of oxygen recyclers to be able to not suffocate and die a horrible death. So as these guys come back in, the oxygen starts going down pretty quickly. There's a meteor strike that's coming in, or space debris. And they're going to need food replicators in a second, but before we build a food replicator, build the freaking thing here, because if you don't, we will all die. That's where we need a fire extinguisher. Don't just run in there. There we go. Okay, they built the oxygen in there. Good. Alright. Now we're going to need to build some food replicators. I'm going to build that in the bar. They're falling over because they're starving, and they can and will starve to death. Learned that the hard way. So we will build, first and foremost, we'll turn this into a pub. You can build food replicators in any zone, but I like to do it in the pub, and I guess I could have just built that there. But let's go ahead and go to Object, All Zones, Food Replicator, and place one on this wall here. Confirm. We will construct Object Pub. We'll build a bar here, confirm, and then we'll build a fridge and stuff next to it in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get some of that stuff built so that they can go and eat, because they're going to fall over and they're going to get very sad, and then they will eventually just die. Alright, now everyone's got the food replicator and everyone's eating, so that's good. They're not happy with eating replicated food. They want real food from the garden, but that's going to have to do for now. Okay, so we've got all this stuff built. We can build other things, so let's go ahead. We'll start building some crew quarters in a little bit. I actually don't have a lot of money. Let's cancel. Let's go to roster, and we'll switch a few of these folks to miners. So who else would make a good miner? Mira would. We used to have a botanist. One of these guys can be a botanist. See security. You can be a botanist. Actually, you can be a bartender. Yep, plants cannot thrive without a botanist. I know. We'll set this guy to be a botanist. Alright, so now we've pretty much got one of every profession. Let's resume. And we'll let them do their thing. So everyone's got a job to do. Keep this base going. And that's pretty much the game. Oh, another meteor strike. It won't kill them, but it will set everything on fire. So let's see if I can do this quickly enough. We're going to go to Object, All Zones, Fire Extinguisher, and we're going to try to build one somewhere here. So I wish I could place it on the wall here. I guess I could. Maybe I can't. Yeah, I can't. So I need to place it against the wall like this. Place it over here. I do want it kind of out of the way. That's just a visual thing. Didn't have to place it over there. And they won't run away from whatever reason. I can't get them to leave the room. So they're gonna get set on fire in just about a minute. There they go. Now they're all burning and running around. And they're stomping out the fire rather than getting the fire extinguisher, which is right there. And that one is dead. 3rd degree burns. Because they're dumb. And that's what happens. So, and instead of building the fire extinguisher, they just ran around and did that for a while, and then they died. And then they leave the corpse. So it'd be nice if we had a way to eject the corpse from the base. A lot of nice things to have, I hope, in the future. Anyways, yeah, so this is an alpha build, and this is the game. Let's, real quick before I end this video, I'm just going to go. I'm not going to play for much longer because I think you guys get the idea. And, yeah, there's not much more to build. There's a few more rooms I can build, and that's pretty much it. So I just want to show off some of the objects here under the construction menu. So we can build a room, a wall, a floor. We can demolish, obviously, or erase. Underneath objects, underneath all zones, we've got our food replicator, emergency alarm, monitor, ordinary plant fire extinguisher. It'd be nice if we could see what these things did. We can't, but it'd be nice if we could. Let's go back. Airlock, all we have is a spacesuit locker. Doors, we only have these two types. Garden, hydroponics culture. Life support, just oxygen recycler. It'd be nice if we had like a mediocre oxygen recycler, then an advanced oxygen recycler. So level these things up so that it would cost a lot more, but maybe one of them could produce a lot more oxygen. Pub, we have neon fries sign we can place like so. stove, neon burger sign, refrigerator, bar, neon pizza sign, and a standing table, like that. What else we have? Reactor. We can build a fusion reactor. It doesn't seem to do anything or have any effect whatsoever on the game yet, but we can build one. We've built our refinery with the matter converter, matter refinery. We have residence where we can build a couple of things: space bed, space dresser, and space rug. That's all the stuff we can build. Eventually, I assume they'll be able to store items in the dresser, kind of, I hope, like that game that I keep mentioning that also starts with the letters DF. And then we have a fitness center that only has a weight bench. Those are all the items in the game. And right now, that's all there is to the game. So, what can I say? If you guys want to support this game and you want them to, to show support, then maybe you should buy the alpha or the early access. I don't know. I did. I wanted to try it out. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I'm not disappointed with it. I do like early access games that I want to see developed and companies that I want to support. But I do have to say that right now it's very minimalistic. You can get about an hour, maybe an hour and a half of play of this, and then you're pretty much done. So here's hoping that in the next few months there'll be a lot more. And if there is, I would love to make a Let's Play video of this, and definitely will. So, on that note, folks, thanks for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this let's try, or let's take a look at, or whatever you want to call it, of Spacebase DF-9. As always, my name is Laducium, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.